What are some of the things if I'm a buyer's agent and I'm struggling with just, I don't even realize really what the value is. How many agents they would probably feel like the buyer, like, I don't know what I do really. Can you just tell me as a buyer's agent, actually, you don't realize here are the things that you do that do have tangible values. So showings, and how much time is that? If you're doing it in an hour, how much is your time worth? How much do you value?
When you're a buyer's agent, you need to think of it more than everybody just thinks about, like the easy deals. You went out and you showed a house and you made $20,000, but that's rarely the case. That's a one-off out of 1,000. Usually you're working with somebody for, it could be 1 to 5 years. I know here in Durango, people come into town and they love Durango. And the first thing you need to ask them is this your first time here? Because they're not going to buy a house their first time here.
You followed up by what's kept you from purchasing anything in the past.
Yeah. So if they've been here, visited for the last decade and they haven't bought anything, well, then they're probably not a buyer, or maybe they're ready to retire. But usually that process, but usually you run into people that you run into is they just came to Durango, they're excited about it, but they have zero education. So that education process is 1 to 3 years.
Okay, so let's do the math on that. And I think I've heard, and it's probably outdated, but I heard at one point, I believe that's on average you spend about 80 hours working with a buyer. Okay, so if we did that over the course, let's say, of 3 years, take your average. So what we're saying is you're spending maybe about 25 to 30 hours every year with that buyer. And when you think about that, break it down over the course of a month. So that's like 2 hours a month. So we're not outrageous. I'm saying you're spending probably 2 hours a month emailing, looking at something for that buyer, communicating with them on the phone, whatever, staying in touch. 2 hours a month. That's it. That's all it takes for in 3 years for you to have spent 80 hours. Yeah. And if you were going to put a cost on hourly time, how much would you say? Like per hour, what's my cost per hour? $10 an hour, $20 an hour?
$200 an hour.
$200 an hour?
Yes.
So 80 hours times $200 is how much?
It's like, what is that? $16,000.
What does that mean to you when we're talking about today? You're either getting an agreement signed to get paid or you're going to work 80 hours.
Exactly.
So $16,000 is on average what you're going to spend one way or the other, probably working with the buyer. Would you, and now you're in a position to guarantee that you're going to get paid back rather than in the past. That's what we're getting at.
And that's just your time. That doesn't include the gas in your car, the wear and tear on your vehicle, the lunches, breakfasts, coffees, drinks.
What do you think about agents that are going to be asking for a retainer? I was talking with an agent the other day, and they've already gotten a contract approved through their brokerage where they're asking for a retainer up front from their clients and saying that, if they buy a home with them, then that retainer will apply towards the compensation that's negotiated in the deal. If not, then if they do not buy a home with them, then they lose that retainer money, just like earnest money.
There's definitely going to be agents that are smart enough to do that. But once again, what does that do for first-time home buyers?
What does it do?
They're not going to get that agent. So they're going to get the cheap agents. Yeah.
So considering that a large majority of the people buying homes, it's like new construction or first-time home buyers, how are you going to solve the problem for first-time home buyers?
That was going to be, you write it in the contract that it's 100% negotiable upon the deal. So it's 100% from the seller. So if we can't negotiate with the seller, you don't get that house.
Got it. Which means to the seller that I either sell the house or I don't.
So it's like, you don't want to pay a commission, then we're going to go on down the road. So, and then someone was saying you could just raise the price accordingly, but it still has to appraise.
Right.
So, because I've actually experienced that already when the way I've leveraged my commission to get investment properties, you go in and you say, I'm going to raise it. I need a 5% commission. Their concern was, if it doesn't appraise, we don't want to pay your 5% commission. So then you just make it a contingency in the deal that if you can't get that commission, I guess, or if it doesn't appraise, then we're out of the deal.
You think there's going to be a challenge in negotiating against offers from non-represented buyers?
Higher price deals, yeah. High-end stuff, there'll be high-end luxury realtors that already, the buyers are gonna pay for them. Yeah, the buyers are already say, we'll pay, just get us the deal. Depends on the competition in the marketplace.